People have been telling me about ChatGPT and suggesting I use it for my code optimizations. I want to optimize the Mario 64 source code for my mod. I already got the performance to be better by a factor of 3 to 4, so 20 FPS becomes 60 FPS. This function, or this entire piece of code, sets up the render output. It computes all the matrices that we need to render the game from. So like it calculates the position of limbs of like objects in the world. Let's start with this matrix function. Computes a rotation and a translation matrix. We're gonna ask ChatGPT, what does this function do? And afterwards we're gonna ask it if it can optimize it. This function operates on affine matrices. Can you optimize it? Affine matrices, basically the last row or column, whatever it's vertical, is 0, 0, 0, 1. And all the math functions actually assume that it's 0, 0, 1 in my optimized version. So we don't actually need to set the output. So you can see I only actually set like the left part of the matrix. But yeah, I'm actually very impressed that it managed to understand that too, right? It even understood that it's just the first 3x3 submatrix. Function as it is appears to be efficient in terms of matrix rotation and memory images. However, there are a few ways to optimize it further. Okay. Use the first order data series. Okay, I tried that, it's not faster, but that's a good idea. If rotation angles are always in a specific range, for example 0 to 360 degrees, it could be more efficient to use a lookup table. I am using a lookup table, so yeah, this is actually the main thing. Every object runs this with the position and the rotation. Unfortunately, I already planned to have a thing where objects that don't move or rotate are gonna have a flag so that they just cache their matrix. So this optimization, while it is a good idea, not applicable. Anything else in here? I don't know what this is supposed to mean. It's possible to compute them only once and store them in an array or struct. This can save some computation. Sometimes ChatGPT just makes up shit. It's just confidently wrong. And I think this might be one of those cases, because I only used the rotations once. Yeah, so I think this is just wrong. Alright, let's move on to the next function. What else do we have? I only trust ChatGPT with isolated math functions, because I don't think it could actually optimize like a whole structure like this. How about my MTXFMO? If there's a programmer watching this, he's probably gonna look at this and be like, what the fuck are you doing? But trust me, this is very optimal. It's just not very readable. It knows that it's a matrix multiplication. That's already impressive just from seeing that. Last element. It knows there's a set to 1. That is crazy, alright. No, that's wrong. It's not being set to 1. I just assume this is 1 in every other multiplication. This is commented out. Okay, never mind. That was stupid. It thinks it's being set to 1, but it's commented out. Open multiversing to parallel. Okay, we can't do that. The N64 does not have this. Same with this in thing. Loop interchange. It doesn't really matter which elements you iterate over, because you're gonna cache like a line of the matrix at a time, regardless of which way around you would do this, I think. Maybe that's important on like modern processors, where the cache works differently. I don't actually know modern processors well, but I don't think any of these actually apply. Unfortunate, but expected. That function has been optimized many times. Let's move on. That could be optimized out, maybe. Let's see what ChatGPT says. Again, appears to be efficient. There are a few ways to optimize it further, and so we're using separate loop for each row. Okay. Again, iterations, memory accesses on the N64, not a thing. To use array notation and it would remove the overhead of pointer, everything, improve performance. No, I specifically made it this because this improved performance. You could use a for loop. Make the code more readable and go. Okay, I don't care about readability. I think you could tell. Another is going to be using a loop unrolling. Nope. Again, N64, that's not good. Isn't that the same as this? Alright, I think there's nothing here. This is an interesting one. Apps angle diff. I don't think there's a way to do this more efficiently, but you never know. Let's see if it understands the function. Angles and range of. Okay, that is very true. Oh, interesting. Is an end faster than. Wait, the bitwise operation that's gonna kill all negative numbers. That's not what we want. No, this is completely wrong. That would break the function. Bad ChatGPT. If you're getting a difference, you could use addition and negation. This will avoid any issues with overflow. Wait, what? Could use addition and negation. I'm gonna use addition and negation to do that. I can ask ChatGPT actually. Wait, it will improve performance? Okay, if this will improve performance, then I will do it. But let me check if that's true. So, apps angle diff graph. It goes until 8021F8E0. So let's do return diff less than 0 question mark minus diff diff. If it's faster, then we found an improvement. And we can measure fastness almost just with like code size. It changed some things, but not this thing. Wait, what? Did I make other changes too? E8. Oh, it made the code slower. I guess because of this line here, the ChatGPT solution did not work, which is interesting. But that means this optimization doesn't exist, and if anything, it made it worse with my compiler flex. Very unlucky. And this is literally just wrong. Let's ask him about 3. How would I accomplish your third idea? For example, you can add x1 to minus x0, but always be positive, avoiding any issues with overflow. Why would that be true? What if x0 is 2 and x1 is 0? Then we return minus 1. 0 is 2 and x1 is 0. This would return minus 2. That breaks the code. You're correct, my reason correctly. You can use the modulus operator? I guess you could use the modulus operator, but this is awful. This is slower. No! Yeah, sorry ChatGPT, but your solution sucks. Also, there's a better like abc function, which I made. There we go. That's a good one. This is how you do it. So what if we just return like... It gets inline, right? Always inline, yeah. So let's just return this. It is 0x1 8 bytes smaller. Let me just check that animation interpolation still works properly, because that's what this is relevant for. Just to make sure I didn't do anything stupid. Everything looks fine. Okay, well, screw ChatGPT solution. This one works better. I don't think it should work, but apparently it does. I will just leave it like this. If I saw there's an issue with it, I will change it again. Let's see if it can optimize this one. Function turns the average angle, yes. Yes. Or maybe my new app's angle diff function works because I made some changes to the approaching afterwards. That would check out. Can you optimize this? Again, it's sufficient. However, there are a few ways to optimize it further. Okay, there's a difference between a good angle and drag angle. You can use a method I explained in my previous one that uses the mod. No, that's a terrible idea. Use a bit shift operator. Oh wait, yes. Oh my god, it's right. Yes. See, when you are working on S32s in the C++ specs, if your S32 is less than 0 and you divide by 2, you actually need to right shift and then add 1, because otherwise it doesn't round properly. Or you need to subtract 1. Anyway, yes, that's actually a good point. Wow, it did a thing. Okay, instead of using the function abc to calculate the absolute difference, you can use the bitwise operator AND. Okay, okay, I'm just gonna ask it how to implement it because I didn't see it. The variable is not used after the if statement. You can skip the variable and do the calculation during the return statement. Okay, but then I'm gonna calculate it in 2 places, which actually ends up taking more instructions, so that's a bad idea. We use the ternary to make the code more readable and improve performance. Okay, I don't believe in a ternary update operator. I think that is the same thing as we have seen before. Unless I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, leave a comment, because I would be very curious. But I think GCC can optimize this the same way. Can you show me how the code would look like with tool implemented? I love that it just understands that. You know what, I'm just gonna put this in game and I'm just gonna see if this works. If this works, I will be somewhat bamboozled. Those animations do not look 60 FPS. Yeah, that didn't work, look at them. He's clearly 30 FPS in a 60 FPS world. No, that was a bad idea. I like the other idea though. See, I even made a note to do this with all the signed numbers ever since I learned it, but I just never actually went through with it. Okay, we don't need to optimize the quaternion functions because they're currently not used. How about this one here? This is the boss fight, because this is a difficult one. I like to imagine that it's actually thinking about this and not that it's just like the cloud taking longer. It's not used in this function and it assumed to be 001 instead of initializing every time you can set it once. For all outside the function scope as a constant. Yes, I'm not setting it, it's commented out. I mean, there is, with the original Mario 64 rigs, a lot of the bones are just set to have one rotation set to 90 degrees and the rest to 0, and that is forever. But a lot of things are animated. So we can't really do that. And even if we did do that, reading out the sign and the codes and the rotations of the bones actually takes up less RAM accesses than reading a whole matrix. It just takes more computation. So even then this wouldn't be an improvement, which is why we're not going to do that. Process root. Okay, that's it. Well, we found one improvement, which was using a right shift instead of the division. I hope you enjoyed this look into ChatGPT with me. It's been very fun. I actually really enjoy talking to just ChatGPT and seeing what it thinks of my functions. It's a bit frustrating when it's confidently incorrect, but it's still like a really cool tool. If you want to learn about programming yourself, check out this video sponsor, Brilliant.org. Brilliant has courses to get into programming, or even more advanced courses on advanced concepts like neural networks. ChatGPT, the AI I've talked to in this video, works using neural nets, and they have a great course explaining how neural nets work in miniature. The interactive tools Brilliant uses in its courses make learning very intuitive. If you want to understand all this matrix math, I'd recommend checking out the linear algebra course Brilliant offers. It explains how matrix math allows computer graphics to scale, rotate, or translate vertices. To try everything Brilliant has to offer, free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/Kaze Emanuar or click on the link in the description. The first 200 of you will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription.